Hello, and welcome to another episode of our Top 10 Inspiring Women series. Today, I will be introducing you to Jennifer Saienni, who is the Marketing and Communications Manager for Delaware Hospice. And in her free time, because who can ever just have one job these days, she is also the co-chair of the Millennial Summit for 2021, which is awesome and exciting. I don't know if you guys have been to the Mill Summit, but every time I go, it brings so much value. It is a great event. And then she's also on the marketing committee for Do More 24, which actually just happened a couple weeks ago. So I'm going to go ahead and let Jen introduce herself. Jen, tell us a little bit more about your background.
Well, thank you, Jen, and thank you for having me. So yes, like you said, I work at Delaware Hospice and I do all the marketing and public relations for the organization. In my free time, I also work with Spur Impact to put on the Millennial Summit, which will be happening this August. It will be a virtual event. Hopefully we'll have some in-person activities going on throughout the day. And I'm also part of the Do More 24 Delaware campaign, which just wrapped up and raised about $2 million for local nonprofits here in Delaware. But I am born and raised in Delaware, and I've been here, and I'm excited to continue my career and raise my family here in Delaware.
That is so awesome. Do you mind if I'm going to start backwards and ask you about Do More 24 first, because I saw those results.
So it was an initiative that was brought together and trying to help increase individual giving, especially with all of the corporations and foundations that have been struggling over the past few years. And we just hosted, I guess that was the 5th anniversary of the event. And this year, Spur Impact partnered up with United Way of Delaware. And together we had a little over 450 nonprofits register and sign up and raise money. And we had a goal of raising $1 million, and we surpassed that right around, I think, the 18-hour mark. So we ended the 24-hour online giving with just under 2 million, and I think the final number is like $1.9 million for local nonprofits.
What change do you want to see in the world, and how are you aiding that cause?
A skill that's been lost in recent generations has been putting yourself out there. You have to go. You can't just sit behind your computer anymore. And I think a lot of us have resorted back to that and said, oh, well, I'm in my home, I'm happy, but we need to go out and make those connections. And that's how we're going to be successful. The most rewarding thing that I get to do and get to experience with my committees, such as Mill Summit and Do More 24, is knowing the impact that I have on our community and as well as the world. But knowing specifically for the Mill Summit, the connections, the networking, the new relationship, both professionally and personally, that have been developed over the years through the Mill Summit, but also the aha moments, the new education, the new resources. I mean, I wish we had statistics on how many new companies, entrepreneurs took the advice and ran with it about the seminars that have come out and really have developed their programs and their livelihood through the help of the Mill Summit. And that, I think, is one of the most rewarding aspects about being on the planning committee, and personally, just the connections that I've met.
How do you make time for this full-time job and kids and multiple volunteer roles?
It's a lot. Not going to lie, not going to shy away from that. But I think I'm able to do this because at a young age, my dad always instilled in myself and my sister that the best opportunities come from a busy person. You know, if you see somebody who is always doing something, going in and out, and you need something done, you're going to give it to that person versus the person who's just twiddling their thumbs. So at a young age, I've always been pushed to be busy. So time management has been really the biggest thing that has allowed me to create and be able to keep moving day in and day out, and be able to balance my family, which comes first and foremost, with my professional life, and then with my nonprofit life as well. It really is been an interesting ride the past year, but I am so happy that I have been able to obtain this balance. It's a balancing act.
Tell us about a project or accomplishment that you consider to be the most significant in your career.
My biggest one, I would have to say, would be Millennial Summit. I have the first year the event was held, I was an attendee, and I was just in awe in how this organization could put on an event like this, and all the networking and people that I met, and all the great speakers that I listened to. And then from there, I joined the committee and have worked my way up. And now I am co-chair of this year's event. I think one of my main accomplishments that I've been able to achieve so far is to be a working mom. I am a young working mom, and not many of my friends and coworkers have a 7-year-old and a 4-year-old while working a full-time job, plus the nonprofit work. And I think that has been one of my accomplishments, is that I'm able to be the oddball out and still be very successful in the work that I do, professionally, but also personally, for my family. My kids know my name and know me and know that I'm coming to pick them up every day. And I think that's a really big accomplishment. We're going to be successful as a culture if we can know that there are people out there who are working 2 jobs. One's being paid and one's not being paid. Paid in hugs and kisses, which is fantastic. But the water company doesn't take hugs and kisses. So I think that's a huge accomplishment, and just really being able to accept this award and being part of this group, but knowing that there's a whole nother side outside of the professional life.
What is the most important business or personal discovery you've made, and how did it affect where you are today?
I think the biggest discovery that I've made has been balance. It is definitely one of those things that I continue to work on every day, but it is a balance between professional, wanting to grow within myself, within the organization, and to grow within my organization, and to grow personally as well, but also to balance my family, my friends, to balance my nonprofit commitments, and really working towards knowing that I'm okay, and that some days it's all going to be family, and that's going to be the priority for today, or some days it's going to be the work and working 15-hour days and trying to get material out into the community, and some days it's just going to be a solid even. And I think that's really been the biggest discovery that I've come across in my professional career.
If you could go back and share some wisdom or guidance to your younger self, what would that be?
There's no such thing as perfection.
Okay, any, I don't know, call to action or anything you want people to do to get involved with any of your organizations, whether that's Delaware Hospice or Mill Summit?
The Mill Summit is a 3-day virtual conference that we hold in August. It will be August 2nd through the 4th this year. And we are looking forward to hosting a variety of topics, workshops, panels, discussions, seminars on with 7 different categories or tracks, you would call them, ranging from finance to personal development to leadership. And it's really geared towards young professionals who are looking to not only grow personally, but to also grow professionally. Learning how to communicate through Zoom. You know, it's very different than walking into a meeting room and having a conference room setting with 9 people sitting. Now you're looking at a 2x2 screen and really trying to pick up on those cues of what people are feeling, the body language in a 2x2 screen, all the way to parenting. You know, the Millennial Summit was founded to help encourage millennials into the workforce. And now we're finding our millennials are having babies and raising kids. So trying to now work and raise kids in this new society, this new culture of post-COVID. So we're really excited about this year's event, and I hope, Jen, you'll be able to attend.